Hello, good morning. We don't have anybody here yet. I guess I'm just going to sit and wait. Oh, we do. We have a Laura. Good morning, Laura. Adventures with Co here. How's your day going so far? Just curious where you are. Are you like somewhere in North America? And Deborah. Hello, Deborah. I thought I was going to be all alone for the first 5 minutes, but I'm not. Awesome. All right. As I always say in my tours, and probably multiple times, if you don't have where you're from in your name, your moniker, your handle, um, I would love it if you would just drop me a little line, just one word even. Let me know where you are. It could be your city, it could be your neighborhood, it could be your country, it could be your part of the world. Just curious to know where everybody is coming from today. We got some Southern California, Santa Paula. Is it, you guys are still really hot down there? Is that right? I have a friend who lives in close, just outside of, I think it's 45 minutes outside of Anaheim. And yeah, she posted yesterday. I swear it said something insane like, I don't know, maybe I read it wrong. Like, could it have been like 122 or something like that? She loves the heat, so she's like, I'm good, don't worry about me. 15 miles from the ocean, and it's almost 90 at 8 a.m. I feel like 122 is a thing. Wow. Um, I guess the air conditioning is on, right? I actually woke up surprised this morning because we had rain last night. I mean, the weather did say 50% chance of rain, but here in Vancouver, you just never know. I mean, I don't live by the weatherman or the weather people or the weather channel or station or whatever you want to call it, because it's not always true. But today it is true. We had rain last night and it's a little bit overcast today. And I think our high is going to be, I think the high possibility is 19 today, which 23 is 73. So I'm going to guess that 19 is somewhere around early 60s, mid 60s. With that kind of heat, you do need rain very badly. I hope you guys get some rain soon. We definitely, good morning, Janet. I was definitely very excited to see rain this morning. I don't think it's actually raining now. And even if it was, I wouldn't care because it's a little rain. I made a raincoat for my gimbal this morning. So when I say I made a raincoat, what I mean is I cut a hole in a large Ziploc bag so I could stick it over top of the gimbal so the mechanics of this don't go crazy. But I don't think we're going to need it because I'm going to think positively. And a little bit of light rain, we can probably find some awnings to walk under anyways. So whatever. Good morning. Is it Jan? Christine? For those of you who are just hopping on, welcome. Good morning. Adventures with Co. I don't think I'm the only one who wants to know this. I think everybody on the tour is probably kind of curious to see where everyone else is from. So if you would like, I would love to invite you to add your city, your neighborhood, your part of the world that you're from, if it's not already in your city, or sorry, in your moniker, name, handle, whatever you want to call it. There's somebody from Washington, D.C. Awesome. I was on a tour with, is it Devin from LA did a tour in Washington earlier this week. And he's a pretty good guide. He's pretty funny, pretty like in the moment. And he lived in Washington, D.C. for quite some time. So he knew a lot about the area. So it was pretty cool. I was in Washington, D.C. I'm going to say about 7 or 8 years ago. LA is your hometown. Okay. We've got Cali represented today a little bit here. So saying that it is a little overcast, which is fine. We might lose a little bit of the views, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Because I think we're still going to see some spectacular stuff. We're going to have some fun tromping around the island. Good morning, Kim, Granville Island. Haha. Betsy, welcome. We're getting close to the start here. Talked about the weather, talked about where we're from. Anybody planning to come to Vancouver if you're not already from Vancouver? Anyone planning to travel here in the next year or two, now that we have a little bit more freedom, because, that whole COVID thing or whatever is not quite the panic situation that it used to be, thank goodness. All right, Betsy from Michigan. I have not been to Michigan. I can tell you that much. Not that I don't want to go. I want to go everywhere, but there are some areas I just haven't even really made it to yet, and the Michigan area is one of them. But then this is coming from somebody who lives in Canada, has lived in Canada her whole life, and has basically traveled a fair bit in Alberta. And I've been to Toronto once back in 1989. And I'm sure it looks very different now because that was a long time ago. And I've traveled a lot around British Columbia, my very own province. I'm one of those lucky people who had the chance to see a lot of their own home province and grown up in the same province. We joke out here that people from Vancouver, 50% of them are from Australia, and the rest are from Ontario or something like that. I had a lot of friends who are actually from Ontario. So we are down here on Granville Island, and we are directly under the Granville Street Bridge. So it's a little bit noisy. We've got some trucks and buses, hop on, hop off going by. And we're going to go wander off and see the sights. So often I have a whole kind of itinerary of thought in my mind. And when I was putting this tour together for today, I think this is the third or the fourth time I've come down to Granville Island. I kind of wanted to, I kind of reread my notes, but I kind of wanted to just see what inspired us. So I'll keep an eye on the chat and see if there's anything you guys want to see that we can get to. I can't promise we'll get to do everything that anybody requests, but I'll certainly do my best. So I usually visit Granville Island every year when I visit my daughter in Seattle. And you come all the way up to Vancouver and do all the Vancouver stuff? That's cool. Suzanne, Vancouver. All right, love Granville Island. Yes, I'm actually sitting right at the top of Granville Island, although it's not really an island. It's all connected by land, but I think at one point it was an island. So we're going to get going, and one of our first shots today is going to be, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I didn't have a lot of coffee before I left the house today, and if you know me, you know I love my coffee. Good morning, Alana. Nice to have you here. Nice to have everybody here who's made it so far. And I'm sure we'll get a few more hopping on as we get started. So like I was saying, if you haven't already, please drop where you're from in the world. I don't mean your address. Your part of the world. Could be your neighborhood, could be your city, could be your province, state, whatever. I'm going to move out of the way so the bus doesn't think that I want to get on and honk and all that kind of stuff. You are here with Adventures with Co. And we were down at Granville Island. And this, I think, is my third tour of Granville Island. And we're just kind of going to go see what we can see today. It's raining a little bit here, or has been. It's not raining at the moment. Let's not bring on the rain by saying it out loud. So for those of you who haven't been on one of my tours, welcome. And a little bit of short history. Fort McMurray, all right, is that I'm one of those people who everywhere I was, people were like, tell me a story, especially at work. And I started to notice that people are asking me to tell stories a lot. What's going on here? Then I stumbled into this amazing job at Rocky Mountaineer, the luxury train, where I became a destination host, storyteller, trainer, and I actually ended up training people in storytelling. So we are going to start walking onto the island. I'm going to look for a good shot of the Granville Island sign, and I'm actually going to flip the camera around so you can start seeing the views down here. So let me know if you see something you like. If I don't manage to think of stopping to do a postcard shot, just let me know you want to take one, and I will do my best to keep an eye on the chat, see what's going on. And here we go. We're going to turn this around. We're going to have a view of some bikes. There we go. Look at that. We have these bikes all over the city. You can rent them for a few minutes, a few hours, or the day. And I was joking, I did a tour down at Kids Beach the other day, and they must have had 3 separate areas of those bikes. But again, down at Kids Beach, very much part of our culture here on the West Coast to ride bikes and be very outdoorsy. My style of being outdoorsy really is all about drinking coffee on patios. I'm not going to lie. I don't hike. I like to walk. I don't bike. You don't want to see me on a skateboard. That's a little dangerous. I'm not a paddle boarder because water freaks me out. But yeah. Oh, looks like they have let's just get this adjusted here. So coming up in September, we have a very well-known event called the Fringe Festival. And as we get a little closer to that Granville Island sign in a moment, you'll see they have a banner up advertising the Fringe Festival. Now, they do have the Fringe Festival. Let's try this again. They do have Fringe Festivals in other cities. It's kind of well-known there. That's a little bit more centered. We'll get closer. And the Fringe Festival is a celebration of the arts, like performing arts. So they have everything from, serious plays to silly plays to different kinds of shows. They do improv, like basically, and it's not selected by a jury. If you get in to be in the Fringe Festival, they put all the applications in a hat and literally pick them out of a hat. And that's who gets to perform during the festival. They have venues all over Vancouver. Sometimes they're little studios. Sometimes it's actual theaters. And then they do this bring your own venue, BYOV thing. Good morning to everybody who's just joining us here down on Granville Island. Let's see if we can get this in a little bit closer. We'll do a little zoom in here and see if we can kind of center it a little bit better. Let's see if we go up one more. Let's see what that does. There we go. Look at those beautiful swampy kind of trees. See if we can get this a little more centered in the shot. There we are. There is your Granville Island sign this morning. We will go a little bit closer. So they have these bring your own venue things where you can literally have your own venue. And so we're talking about the Fringe Festival that happens down here on Granville Island. Is going to be actually happening very, very soon. It might even be next week. And so they had 2 people doing a play on a fire escape on a building down here in Granville Island. And so there's been all kinds of crazy different venues over the years. I've been to several, just going to go around here, several different plays because I used to volunteer quite a bit at the Fringe Festival. And of course, one of the benefits of volunteering is the part where you get to go to shows for free. So this is the entranceway to Granville Island. And this all used to be just forest down here. In fact, they used to have not here, but I'll show you. So where the apartment buildings are here, try not to get any passerbys in this. So all this area that you see with the trees, I'm going to zoom back out again, actually, obviously, used to at one point just be a forest. And people used to come, we're talking way back before glamping and electricity, people used to come down here and camp in this area because it was on the edge of downtown Vancouver. So I think that's kind of crazy. This is a really cool spot. I go to the bakery, and it's all part of the Pacific Institute of Culinary Arts. So this is like a cooking school. And they have they do 3-course meals for like cheap because it's all done by the students. The bakery is amazing. I think it opens a little later, so I was actually kind of thinking of maybe coming back here today after the tour and sitting down and having a coffee and writing some more tours. Imagine that. Hey, Marty, good morning. How are you? Everyone who's just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited because we had rain last night and we have cooler weather. So my apartment is not disgustingly hot. I had a very good sleep last night. And I'm super excited that I put on a long sleeve t-shirt with a hood today. Fall weather is here, and I love fall clothing. So here we are down at one of the marinas at Granville Island. I am so lucky to live in such a beautiful, beautiful city. All of the outdoorsy stuff. The mountains, the beautiful views, the ocean. I don't love the ocean. I don't love hiking, but I can certainly appreciate everything that comes with it. So here we are. That boat over there's a green boat that looks kind of cool, and it's called the Black Spirit. Kind of like that name. We're going to zoom in a little closer, see if we can get a look at it. The one that's kind of in the bottom, in the middle, the green one. Black Spirit. Interesting. And again, for all you lovely folks who haven't, right, who doesn't love a pirate ship? I think didn't we just have Pirate Day, International Pirate Day in August? Is that I know it's a thing. I think it's in August. I have a friend from Lego who works on the pirate ship that's somewhere down here in Granville Island, or like obviously not on the island because it's a boat. But yeah, it's down this way. And he was obsessed with pirates. And every time I see anything piratey, I think of Jeff. So here we go. Let's continue on. So we've got the Burrard Street Bridge in the background there. And it was built in between 1930 and 1932. And I believe I found out there's a secret hallway or a secret tunnel inside the bridge, which is pretty cool. They built it and then they shut it up. Like, I don't know why you would do that. Why would you build a secret tunnel and then board it up? I don't understand. Great mysteries in life. Here we go. Here we see the beginnings of the downtown area. See that really weird kind of 70s design, the tallest building there, the condo one? That is called Vancouver House. And it's one of our newest structures, kind of giving that feel of buildings and construction of current days here, mimicking kind of what's going on, I guess, the construction in Singapore. So that's Vancouver House, and the famous chef David Chang was slated to put a restaurant in the bottom of Vancouver House. And, then that stupid pandemic hit, and I don't think he's bringing his restaurant to Vancouver anymore, which is too bad because I was really excited to have a David Chang restaurant here in Vancouver. He is a chef from New York City, and he's got quite a personality, larger than life kind of personality. And he came in and he was doing a food show, and he and Seth Rogen came down here to Granville Island and went to Lee's Donuts. So we're going to take a walk past Lee's Donuts as we make our way around the island here. So here we go. Any of you who just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And please let us know where you're from. What part of the world do you live in? Or do you have daytime, evening time? What's going on where you're at? All right, maybe we can get a cooler shot of Granville Island sign here. Oops, sorry. Putting the gimbal in the wrong direction. Clearly, I have not had enough coffee this morning. Sorry, that was way too fast. And that's not quite the view I was going for. Sorry, I apologize. We got some crows chatting to us. Crows somehow seem to really like me. It's a little bit odd. I have a couple in my neighborhood that like to walk me to the bus stop or walk me from the bus stop home. Let's see if we can get this a little more centered here. Here we go. It's kind of what I was going for. It was a Granville Island sign and the beginning of the kids markets with the rainbow kind of flags there. Pretty cool. I like all the colors, the yellow and those swampy looking trees. I'm sure there's a real name for those trees, and I apologize if you are really into greenery and I'm offending you this morning, but I'm not really a plants kind of person, so I don't know, but I really should learn the name of those trees. You have a raven that greets you often. Awesome. It's morning, Carla. It's kind of cool, I think. People give crows and stuff a bit of a bad rap, but I actually really appreciate them because they can be a bit mischievous at times, and it's never fun when they're dive bombing your head. But if you get their respect, I think it's one of those things where you've got their respect for life, pretty much. Right, here we go. Let's get another little view here of the marina, and then we'll head a little further onto the island. Here we go. All right, look at all those boats. All right, let's carry on in a moment here. And again, for those of us just joining us, if you don't have your whereabouts in your moniker, please drop it to us, because me and everyone else is curious to see where you are from this morning. Anybody got a coffee in their hand or a hot tea, or maybe you're on a healthier kick and you're just doing straight up water? Or I don't know, maybe it's 5 o'clock somewhere and somebody's got a little beverage. As soon as I get safely across the road here, I'm going to zoom out a teeny tiny little bit. I know, let's go through the back of the market here. There we go. There we are. This is the kids market area. And there is a caboose on the other side. And I believe we have greenery in the back here. I know I have come down here a few times with kids when I was nannying, and we've done the whole feed the ducks. Lots of art and art structures down here on the island. Very artsy community. They do have, not only do they host the Fringe Festival, but they also host the Vancouver International Jazz Festival down here. There's at least 6 or 7 theaters. I feel raindrops. And I believe the Writers Festival happens in venues down here as well. We got some ducks. They're sleeping. Sleeping ducks. Is that one standing up sleeping? That doesn't feel restful to me. Oh, is there someone else doing a Granville tour as well? Is it Dan? I didn't even look when I booked this one. I just kind of was like, hey, what do I feel like doing Sunday morning? Because that would be hilarious. I know I've seen on the Hago, the Voyager Facebook page that sometimes people just run into people. Oh, Jay. Oh, that's hilarious. Like, of all the times I could be down here doing it, Jay is down here as well. I have the feeling probably Jay is over more by the market. I don't know. That's going to be my guess. We're going to head over there shortly. I just thought it would be really cool to come and get some greenery and see this end of it. And every time I do the Granville Island tour, I do it all kind of just by feel and what I feel like on the day, what I want to focus on, what's going on the island. I think this year during the Lunar Festival, I'm going to have to come down here and do some cool tours. Okay, the cement mixers and painted towers. That's kind of, everything is not closed. It is 8. It's just 10 to 9 right now. And I believe the market opens at 9 o'clock this morning. So I was thinking we would kind of slowly make our way over there, see if there's a lineup for the donut store. And because you can see in the back, you can actually watch them making the donuts and everything, which is pretty cool. And take a walk through the market, see what kind of macarons they have today. One of my favorite treats when I come down here. We can see if we can find some overhang kind of stuff. It's just starting to rain a little bit. Just a little bit sprinkly, nothing too major. All right, at the end here, we do have the Granville Island Brewery. And the Granville Island Brewery, let me just zoom in here a little bit, has actually been around since 1984. And it was kind of the start, or came about, right? The Lunar Festival would be so cool. Started doing microbreweries or microbrews back in 84. And I remember they used to make a maple beer. And to me, I thought that was so crazy, like maple beer, because I'm not really a beer drinker. I have to disguise because I don't like the taste of beer. So I drink a lot of like fruity beers now, sour beers. And so that was what started me off, the maple beer by Granville Island Brewery. Now, there are a lot of people who live down here or very close to the island. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. So we actually have a community center down here, which is pretty cool. Just a regular, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to live right down here. I mean, I don't live that far away from this area. I'm very close to my neighborhood. But to have a place right down here where you have a community center, you've got the market where you could shop in daily, and just have a really true West Coast, ride your bike everywhere kind of area to live in would be kind of cool. I live close enough, but it's that close enough but far enough that I don't come down here very often, or as often as I would like. All right. Let's see here. Look at the dog. He's beautiful. So you have a lot of art galleries, but also art studios down here. Of course, the Emily Carr University used to be down here for years and years and years. And they just recently, I think, built a new building and moved out. of the Granville Island area. And the cool part is the new tenants of the university is the Arts Umbrella Company, which is a nonprofit arts education center for, I love this, kids between the ages of 2 and 22. And I love that they think of 22-year-olds as kids. And so they were able to move in, and now they have their own theater for all of their performances that they do at the end of their season. So it was actually started by a couple of moms here in Vancouver, I want to say like 30 or 40 years ago. And something to do with just looking for particular art classes for their kids, and there weren't any. And so they just kind of started their own company, and it's gone from a few little classes a week to a school, like a big school kind of building. And they offer like acting and dance and drawing and painting. I think they even do pottery, like just literally all of the arts are all in that building for kids. So again, if you lived down here and you had kids, imagine being able to walk them down here for swimming lessons and art class. We've got Performance Works Theater over here. It's quite a big one for the island. I've done many a volunteer shift there during Jazz Fest, and I've seen some pretty cool performers. Up here as well, we have the Granville Island Hotel, which is the only hotel on the island. And it's not quite a heritage building yet, but it is older, and it's very much a beautiful boutique hotel. Sometimes people come down here for the jazz music, actually, on the weekends. They have a really nice piano bar. Let me see if I can get this in the picture a little better. I know there's cars behind me. I can hear them. All right, here we go. And one of the great things about Granville Island and the Jazz Festival is they have some free venues down here as well. So I couldn't quite get myself together to do it this year, but I'm hoping that maybe next year I will actually be able to make it down here and catch some of those live shows for you guys. One of the many art galleries here on the island. We have West Coast art, Indigenous art, and a lot of different Indigenous businesses and things. If you want to take a quick look. For such a small island, I love this. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is our directory of Granville Island right here. So that's a lot of things. There are reportedly 300 businesses down here on the island. And welcome to everybody who's just joining in. At one point, I'm pretty sure this is a pre-pandemic number. It said that they employed over 3,000 people down here. Isn't that amazing? With all the restaurants and the market and the studios and the theaters. They've got theater sports down here, improv center, just so much going on here. We're going to head over towards the market now. Now, does anybody know, because there could be a few people down here walking around with gimbals and such, anybody know what Wild J looks like? Will we know if we run into Wild J, other than I'm assuming they will have a gimbal? Sign of a tour guide, right? We have art supply stores down here. The kids market has over 25 shops, and if you're, I know some of us are, if you're a Lego fan, this is often, I tell people, if they're looking for a specific set that might be a little older, one of the places we tell them to come and check is down here at Granville Island, because people come down for a multitude of reasons, And they're not always here to buy Lego. So they generally have a supply of Lego in the shops down here that goes a little bit farther back than the store that I work at, because everybody, of course, comes to the Lego store for the Lego. All right. Let's walk down here. See what we find at the end of here. I feel like we're like truly exploring today. Where is everyone? The market doesn't open until 9. And we are in Vancouver. And it's raining. And it has not rained in a long time. So chances are it's not going to be busy down here today, Judy, because when it rains in Vancouver, people don't always go out, especially that first rainy day. And we've had, for Vancouver, we've had a lot of hot weather, and it is significantly cooler today. So I have the feeling there's going to be a lot of people hanging out at home, enjoying the coolness. Plus, here in Vancouver, our kids go back to school on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I think it's that, go and meet the teacher, see your classmates, pick your desk and go home after 15 minutes. So I think actual class starts Wednesday. But this is the last weekend. This is the big push for everyone to get ready and organized for getting into their fall routines. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit quieter down here today, which in all honesty, wrong way, is not necessarily a bad thing. We have the houseboats down here. Let's go take a look. Hello, birds. Lots of wildlife down here. And it is a bit gray down here today, but you know what? We're coming into fall and there's going to be a lot of more grayer, slightly rainier tours, but that's okay. That's not going to kill any of the excitement. I do love fall weather and hats and coats and things like that. So here we are. Let me just raise this up a little bit. And we can see, whoops. There we go. We're getting a bit of the view of downtown. That is the Yaletown neighborhood right across from us there. And the Yaletown neighborhood used to be a lot of warehouses and mills back in the day. And of course, this area that we're standing in right here used to also be a very industrial area. And there was a lot of warehouses that built machinery and things. Of course, the Granville Street used to be called Center Street. And in fact, the entire city of Vancouver used to be called Granville. And Granville Street, or Center Street back at the beginning, was, maybe we can go this way. Let's see. Or maybe I'm lost. Used to be a logging road going into Vancouver. And so there used to be a lot of, between the waterfront. Oh, it's a dead end, but pretty? Okay. Oh, right. I forget you know so much about this area, Kim. Let's go see. I feel like we have a courtyard or something-ish coming on. And this is kind of the fun of today. We're just out exploring. Aha. Here we go. Here's a better view. A pretty view. Always beautiful views here in Vancouver. Look at that. Here we are. We've got a mural painted under the bridge over there. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Maybe see the mural. We just had the Vancouver Mural Festival here for 2 weeks. So there's a whole bunch of new murals that have popped up all over the city. And I want to find a map and go check out some of them, see if maybe there's some cool tours we can do, maybe even a few of them that are close together. A few murals close together that can be checked out. I've seen a few pictures. They look pretty awesome. There's one near my house that was actually done a couple of years ago for the mural festival. And they took over this hotel that's all been renovated and painted crazy colors and super fun. And that was their home base. And they had DJs playing and all kinds of fun stuff going on, entertainment, while people were out painting murals all over the city. Oh, you followed. Thank you. Pretty excited, guys. I am all the way up to like over 200 followers now. So that makes me feel pretty good. There we go. Now we can see the mountains in the background. On a sunnier day, we could see them a little bit more, but we're not going to focus on the fact that it's not sunny today because it is still a beautiful city, rain or shine, and it's fun to explore. So let's head back and we will find our way over towards the market, which will be open now, and we'll go take a walk through the market. Check out all the goods over there. The last time I was down here, I actually hung out and had my lunch down here and did the whole fish and chips, but I did salmon and chips because I love salmon. Any opportunity to eat salmon, and I'll do it. Yes, thank you. I am very proud. I've been working hard on my tours, and it's nice to be able to kind of, when I worked for Rocky Mountaineer, I had a whole host of stories, but it was all built very differently in that we would do our storytelling based on the things around us on the routes to the hotels. So all of my kind of threads and chains of stories were built around all of Rocky's partner hotels. And now I get to take all of this information and the stories and put them all together and base it on areas of Vancouver. So this area here is part of Fairview, or Fairview Slopes as they call it, because it is on a slope. The area headed west is known as Kitsilano, which if you actually say Kitsilano, that's how we know you're a tourist. Everybody refers to it as Kits. So it's the Kits neighborhood, Kits Beach. And Kits Beach actually used to be known as Greer Beach because some gentleman with the last name Greer, I think his name was, Sam, I think, bought, just past us, he bought 200 acres of land for $200. Obviously a very, very, very long time ago. And they started building all these houses. And it was supposed to be kind of the cheaper housing alternative to the west end of Vancouver, so the downtown west end. Here we go. This is the Arts Education Center for Young People that I was talking about, the Arts Umbrella. Very cool nonprofit arts community for kids to take classes. So they built this whole neighborhood. They had developers came in and built a whole bunch of houses, and it was still close enough to downtown Vancouver. And of course you had all the railroad come in and the extra business with that, and the Theater Row on Granville Street back in the day. And it was a cheaper alternative. And of course now, current days, it's one of the more expensive neighborhoods of Vancouver. So it, little bit of irony there. We're getting very close to the market here. I'm excited to go in and take a look around today. And yeah, it still looks pretty deserted. So growing up in the Vancouver area, We didn't come to Granville Island very often because honestly, the island didn't really open and get going until 1984. They started in the 70s talking about developing this whole area. These are the stats they were talking about where Wild Jay was doing her tour at earlier. So in the 70s, they started talking about what can we do with this wasteland, which was all just warehouses, abandoned warehouses, left over from all of the industrial stuff. So they started talking about what they could do. And of course, we had Expo 86 coming up, and it was time to show off our city to the world for the World's Fair. And so they started doing all this developing. That's where Lonsdale Quay came from. That's how we ended up with our SkyTrain. And that's how we have Granville Island. So I guess part of it was they were really just wanting to make ways to show off the city, greet the tourists, and really show what we have here in Vancouver. So I was just getting to the stage where I was in my late teens, and we didn't do as much stuff like going to Granville Island. We were too busy shopping at Pacific Center downtown because as soon as we were allowed to take the sea bus over the water to downtown Vancouver, that's what we started doing. There's a cool mural over here I want to show. They painted up the leg of the bridge here. So there we go. I think that looks pretty cool. A little bit of indigenous artwork here with the salmon. I like it when they do things like that with the public spaces. All right, let's head on over to the market. So by the time they developed this area, I was a little too old to be hanging around things like this. But when I started nannying, when I got out of high school, because I didn't know what else to do with my life and I love kids, I would actually occasionally bring the kids down here in the summer. And it was certainly somewhere, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, where we could spend the day and hang out and do fun things. Sometimes I'd take my nieces, about 10, 15 years ago, I would have my nieces overnight. And I loved bringing them down here. We would go on the aqua buses across Falls Creek and come down to the island here and get treats and hang out. In fact, the body of water down there is called Falls Creek. And it's literally called Falls Creek because the surveyor, explorer that discovered this area thought he was going up a river or a creek, and it turned out to be a dead end. Now, Falls Creek used to be much, much longer and bigger, but they decided to fill in some of it to make more land at the end there for the railroad tracks when they brought the railroad into Vancouver all the way out west here. We have one of our little bears. I think a lot of cities have done these statues that were painted and then auctioned off as fundraisers. So here we go. We've got a bear representing the beautiful scenery here in the West Coast. There we go. That's a little more centered. Good morning to everybody who's just joined us. If you have a moment, please let us know where you are from. What is going on in your part of the world? How are you doing today? We're having a little fun down here on Granville Island, just exploring, seeing what we come across. Very artsy community. I love that the store here is called Rhinoceros. I don't think we actually have any rhinoceroses here in Vancouver. The chocolate place, Rogers Chocolate. right? The art is great. Rogers Chocolates, I think actually started in Victoria. And my family and I would go on trips to Victoria. My mom's best friend lived over there, and we would always go to the Rogers store down in the harbor of Victoria. And we would get a chocolate, and they're not as big as the palm of your hand. They're probably maybe 2 inches in diameter, circle, and it's artisan chocolate, and they have these amazing, like maple walnut and Victorian creams and all these different kinds of, there's probably about 20 flavors, and they're so yummy that when my friends and I started doing a girls' weekend away in Victoria in January, because everything's cheap because it's cold, we would again always go to Rogers and buy a couple of chocolates, and then we take them home and cut them up into tiny little pieces and just kind of savor it a bit at a time. Let's maybe cut across here before we go into the market. Let's see what we have over here. A very fun, bright little cantina. Another great thing is Kelowna. All right. All the restaurants here on Granville Island, there's just so many different. I mean, Vancouver is such a melting pot. And we have a variety of restaurants here on the island. Of course, a lot of them do focus on the seafood. One of our little studios here. Let's see if you can see in the window. See some of the art. Very cool. Yeah, the market has such great food. They have a great burger spot. It's a great place to get local groceries. Kind of, I guess, farmers market style, but not open air. I have a friend who would love this. She knits and crochets and does all those things I am completely useless at. I've been trying to crochet a scarf for years. That's how not good I am. Ooh, here's a cool hat. It's got the pink one here looks like it has a little sparkle on the gray. I don't know if you can see that through the window. These are all very beautiful. There we go. I know, right? I think that's why I want to crochet so badly, because a basket of wool with beautiful colors is just such a warm, cozy kind of feel and thing. I once made a little, I did a minifigure out of my Lego and made her knitting, and the expression on the minifigure's face was like that of sheer, I don't know, being terrified of or stressed out. It had the most comical expression on its face. And so I wrapped embroidery thread around drumsticks and put them in the hands of the minifigure and made it look like she was sitting in an easy chair and knitting. And it was quite funny. One of my friends got it from me because she was like, "Do you have blonde hair? Can I have it? I'll buy it off you." And it was just, it was pretty cool. She's like, "It looks exactly like me when I'm knitting, super stressed." Love that they have little sheltered areas here, so you can go get your coffee, your lunch, come sit out here. Of course, there's a big patio area by the market. Ooh, we've got drums and things in here. I love that. I might have to come back to this shop, actually. I keep thinking I want to get a drum. Oh, there's a bit of glare going on here. Let's see if I can find a better spot. There's some pretty cool instruments at the back there. I'm guessing that looks like it is an actual guitar on the right. maybe some, I know there's banjos, and I don't know what there's a name for the one that's like the triangle shape, and I can't remember what that is. Here we go. Very cool. It's starting to get a little livelier down here. People have dug through their closets and found their jackets with hats. And their slightly warmer clothing and have made their way down here, it looks like. Pretty fun. All right, where is... Did I miss? No, I can't have missed it. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Let's try not to get run over. Here we are. We are at the donut shop. This is Lee's Donuts, everybody. They are making donuts. Oh gosh, this makes me want to have one. Yeah, I know, Joyce. I heard that. I didn't realize. Usually when I book tours, I look to see who's doing what when. And I will admit that I didn't look. For me, it was more the time slot and the timing that worked. And I think it's kind of funny that there's two of us down here right now. So that's all right. We all have our different styles and ways of doing things. Here we go, inside the market. See what kind of donuts they have today. Here we go. Ooh, they look good. We've got a chocolate mint. And the lineup's not very big today because nobody's down here. All right. Sorry. Speak out. Now, where is... Trying to orient myself here. There must be... Oh, here we go. There must be... Nope, I think I'm too far down. Let's not be... Or is this the part I'm looking for? Oh, no, maybe this is it. Here we go. It's so early still. They're all just still setting up shop here. Check out these cupcakes. Just getting my bearings for Granville Market. Yes. Vacation starts in Kelowna, then Vancouver, then Parksville and Tofino. Oh my gosh. Who is saying that they're doing that? Let me just take a look here. Oh, that's Marie. Okay. Marie, where are you from? And what is making you come all the way out here to our beautiful area? Oh, we got pride slices today. Let's see here. There we go. Look at those little triangle cake slices. The rainbow. That's pretty awesome. Right? I'm probably going to make you guys all hungry now, and you're all going to be craving sugar for the rest of the day. My apologies. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so it's easier to see. There we go. Ooh, look at these fresh fruit tarts. Wouldn't that be yummy with a little bit of vanilla ice cream? Right? Oh, this is the part I really, really love. I love croissants. Croissants and cinnamon buns. That is where life is all about. And then I see these cute little pink flower cookies. Those are awesome. I love those. And we've got homemade granola. cranberries, raisins, almonds, cashews, pecans, walnuts, honey, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, Canadian maple syrup, yeah, quinoa and oats. That sounds so good. All right, now we're heading over to my other favorite part of the market. Look what we have here. We have the macarons. I love, this is Bon Macaron, and I've actually done some classes. Yeah, they're so pretty, those cookies. I've done classes on how to make macarons, and I do them really well in class, and I'm terrible at home. I'm still practicing the recipe at home. So let's go and see what kind of flavors they have today. We have a passion fruit dolce, the wildberry iced tea, ooh, blackberry hazelnut, blueberry mint, banana split, strawberry lychee or lychee, peach caramel. Oh my goodness. Look at the stripes painted on the top. In Bishkek. Where are you from? Sorry, I don't recognize the area. So we have champagne, pina colada. What's that pina colada song? I don't want to sing it because I'll get it. You'll have it as an earworm for the rest of the day. Citrus explosion, yuzu, cherry lime, raspberry dark chocolate, blueberry passion fruit. Oh my gosh, look at the watermelon ones. That is some serious macaroning. Peach caramel, what? I know, right, Kim? That sounds so yummy. S'mores and mocha. Pear black currant. Pumpkin spice. Ooh. Who likes a good Boston cream donut? Now you can have a Boston cream pie macaron. Ooh, I had one last time. The peanut butter and jam was so good. Cotton candy. You never want to give me cotton candy. I get so hyper from cotton candy. And of course, our favorite kid treat, Nutella. Did we see the bottom ones down here? We've got Gouda and chives. These guys do the best savory macarons ever. Ginger, honey, jasmine, gin fizz. Look at the jackfruit with the little palm leaves. We have maple caramel. Hello, coffee. The little packages here? That is a good question. Hi, how much are the little packages here in the front window?
Those are $15, 15 pieces, 5 flavors.
Okay, so they're $15, 15 pieces, 5 flavors. There we go. Sake and candied pecans. They have a big giant macaron Eiffel Tower. Wouldn't that be cool for an event? Just have them all stacked and people could just help themselves. All right, let's check out the last window and the kind of flavors they have. So we're down here to salted caramel, tiramisu. I make a really good tiramisu. Chocolate decadence, creme brulee, pistachio, Earl Grey, another one of my favorites, pure vanilla, and fieldberry. I am definitely coming back today and getting some. They have a beautiful, beautiful picture in the back of Paris with the Eiffel Tower. Very cool. So we're going to wind our way through towards the back of the market here, passing through a few more little booths, and we'll head out to the back to the patio area to finish off today's tour out there. This is that pie company. Raspberry rhubarb pie, apple pie, banana cream pie, coconut cream pie, pumpkin pie. I don't like a lot of pie, but I am a sucker for pumpkin pie. Alamode has great pot pies. All right. Yes, I think I remember that before. These are the kinds of things I like to get when I come to the market and take home. Little sauces with a little cilantro, mustards, and their garlic butter is so good here. I got some of that the last time I was down here. And my favorite place to get something to eat is the Market Grill. They have such good burgers. All right. Here we go. So, more in the afternoons down here in the summer, during the week. On the weekends, they have actual performers, and they perform in that little red tent you can see ahead there. And so on a beautiful sunny day, you have a mix of people and seagulls begging for food and live music and the boats going by. And it's just a pretty... I'm hungry. What do I always just, I'm a burger kind of gal, and the burgers here are fantastic. I think I always get the same one because I've never, it's so good. I just can't not have it when I'm here. We got all the little aqua buses banked up, ready to go. So you can actually come to Vancouver and do a little tour of False Creek in the aqua buses, and it'll take you from Granville Island all the way down into the far end there where it ends up. Science World is down that way, comes back along. We've got a stop across the waterfront here. There's that mural we saw earlier. And it goes also out to Vanier Park, which is where they do the Vancouver Children's Festival and, of course, Bard on the Beach all summer. Blue cheeseburger. Yes, that's it. That's the one. So, so good. It is raining a little bit, but I will take you out here so we can see the view. I think if a few moments of rain isn't going to hurt anything. Might make the gimbal a little more spirited, but hey. Welcome to those who've just joined us. We are down here on Granville Island, and we have our fall weather arriving here in Vancouver. It is a little bit rainy today. All right, here we go. There's our Broad Street Bridge. I love this bridge. When I was in Sacramento, they have a bridge somewhat similar to this. And it was so beautiful when it was lit up at night. And then in 2000, the year 2000, I moved downtown. And I actually used to live in a building just across the water here. I don't think we can see the building I lived in. No, it would be further over. And I lived in a great little studio apartment on the 11th floor. And I could see the Burrard Street Bridge from my bed at night. So I'd leave the curtains open a little so I could see the lights. Because at night, when it's all lit up, it's just absolutely spectacularly beautiful. I love it. There we go. Let's walk down here a little bit. So it's super easy to get out here to Granville Island. If you're staying in the downtown core, you can actually just hop on the number 50 bus, and it'll bring you right to where I started the tour at the top of the island. Just a 2-minute walk onto the island from there. There's lots of city buses from different directions that come very near here. And you can walk from streets like Broadway or West 4th. However, there are hills in this area. So coming down to the island is easy because you're walking downhill, but leaving the island is not as easy because you would be walking uphill. I will often walk down here, but I will take the long way home and take much longer if I can take a bus rather than walk up the hills. Isn't this pretty? I love that old, is that like a schooner in front of us there? Right? It's so beautiful. Kind of like, I don't know if the colors translate well, but it's kind of like a light, almost like a light Tiffany blue, very, very muted Tiffany blue, and black and red. And like that turquoise and red is one of my favorite color combinations. There we go. A lot of these buildings, of course, were built in the 80s in time for Expo 86. So they all have that kind of similar 80s look to them. All right, we've got a little plaque here. I like reading plaques. So tugboats of Canada's west coast. Since the mid-19th century, tugboats have been crucial to the development of the main industries of British Columbia, particularly forestry, mining, and fishing. They tow loads to and from remote businesses and communities, assist large ships in port and through difficult coastal waters, and supply many companies with goods and materials. West Coast tugboats, such as the SS Master, have evolved into a distinct vessel type, well suited to the topography, water, and weather conditions. Called the Railway of the Sea, they link local, regional, national, and transnational shipping and transportation networks. And like so many things in Vancouver, they have that plaque written in both English and French. There we go. And the sign, if you can see that, is mounted on a tugboat. That's so cute. Okay, it says you are entering a historic site. Many of the buildings are over 100 years old, and much of the terrain is original to the industrial use once on the island. That's pretty cool. All right. You volunteered at Expo 86. That must have been amazing. Wow. Do you have like any one particular memory, Marie, that like sticks out from there? I mean, I went to Expo 86. I was 16 at the time. So yes, now you know how old I am. And I remember that was just when I was getting to be old enough to go do things with my friends without having to have a parent with us. And we went to Expo 86, me and my best friends, and we got stuck in the lineup for the Scream Machine, and I didn't get home until 4 a.m. And needless to say, at that point, I was a good kid, and I had never stayed out that late ever. And then, of course, my older brothers were mad because I stayed out that late, and I never got in trouble for it, and they would have all been grounded if they'd done that at my age. Here's another view of the Burrard Street Bridge. And then there is a great shop down here. We're not close to it, or I would take you right by, but it's called Make. And a lot of people use it for things like if you're going to an event and you want to make a t-shirt to reflect the event you're going to, or a special t-shirt. I actually had a t-shirt made for my company, Girl on a Bus Adventures, and they had the whole thing done. You kind of do a mock-up online, and then they make it for you. And it's, I don't know, I think it was ready in like 5 days or something like that, or 3 days. And there's all kinds of things you can add artwork to, journals and bags and backpacks. And you can design your Christmas presents and stuff. And they have 2 shops in Vancouver. One is in, of course, Gastown, and the other one is out here on Granville Island. So here we are, kind of in the heart of the outside part of the market. The bread affair. I love freshly made bread. I don't think there's anything better in the world than a fresh, hot sourdough loaf with butter. Yeah, I lost my passport from Expo 86, but I sure had a lot of stamps in it.
is really good. Like, you just need 5 minutes for everything.
Tap and Barrel Bridges. So this used to only just be Bridges Restaurant. Very popular restaurant. The other one that's really popular down here is Sandbar. And now Tap and Barrel has come in and joined forces with Bridges. And it's a beautiful restaurant. We can sit right on the water and have a lovely dinner. All right, here we go. Now, I did say the tour was going to be an hour, and we're a little bit past that because that's just kind of how I roll. And I am going to wind things up a little bit here. We're just going to take a peek through a few more little shops. And I actually like it because normally by this time, if it's a sunny Sunday, it is busy down here. And I like the fact that there's not so many people. I am completely okay with it. Yes, the laser and fireworks show at Expo 86. Those were so cool. You stayed down to the end of the night, and then it was, I guess, kind of like Disneyland, and they would do the fireworks shows. I think we even ditched out on the fireworks show to wait in line for the Scream Machine or something like that. It was like one of the last weekends of Expo 86, and we wanted to get one more last ride. Eclectic Finds Shop. This is pretty cool. This is the kind of place where literally you could come down if you're visiting and spend like a day down here on Granville Island, because all the little artisan and one-off shops are so cool and there's so many things to see and do. And in fact, thank you. I always say when you're in a city and if you can find kind of like areas like the artisan communities, those are the best places to go find souvenirs because you're getting stuff that's original, sometimes even handmade. And what kind of a better way to have a souvenir than have something that's a one-off as opposed to something that 400 other people just bought the day before you? You know what I mean? First time traveling with Parkinson's disease. Wow, diagnosed 3 years ago. Good for you to just not even let things stop you. Like, keeping on going and having fun. Greetings, Robin from Nova Scotia. We're just at the tail end of our tour down here. We're doing a little window shopping to round out our morning here on Granville Island. I'm going to zoom out one more step here just so we can get a better view of the window shopping. So we'll do a few more minutes of window shopping, and then we will end our little time together today. The hangout place. They sell hammocks. That's so cool. Look at that. The hangout. Very fun. I also appreciate all the bright colors down here. Aha, here we go. This is the make shop. This is the one I was talking about. One of the guys I work with at Lego is very into all that RuPaul's Drag Race and all the drag queen stuff, which I think is hilarious or great. And so he goes to every single show here in Vancouver, and he often will get a shirt made for that particular drag queen to honor them. And I think that's really neat. So he gives make a lot of business. Go. It's not open at the moment. I guess some of the outer shops can kind of open more whenever they want. We'll just take a look and see if there's any windows down the side. Nope, no window shopping at Make down the side. Sorry, but we've got some cool mural-y things. Make your own music. That's a cool mural. All right. And even the front of their store is so pretty. There we go. Just going to try and see where we're at on the chat here. There we go. More murals. And right there. So for a dreary day, we have lots and lots of color. I like these signs. That one says relax. I need to have a sign like that to remind me, hey, Ronnie Lynn, you're coming into the tail end, my friend, but better at the tail end than not at all. We're just doing a little bit of window shopping here on Granville Island. All the pretty wind chimes. I love the sound of wind chimes, but it makes me feel guilty because I always think I don't put mine out because I worry that maybe not everybody likes the sound of wind chimes. I don't know. Here we are. More lovely bright colors. I like the mask. Very cool. The elephant. I always giggle when I see elephants because growing up in my family, each of us had something we collected. So I collected cows. My mom collected penguins, things like that. And my mom had this pen pal that she'd had since she was 2 years old, or not 2, in grade 2, 7 years old. And her pen pal was from Scotland. So this is going back when they would send a letter and it would take 6 weeks to arrive and they'd write back. And then, you know, they progressed with this amazing pen pal relationship all the way through to like being able to call each other like once a year because it was so expensive. And then they got to the point where like email came in, and I really wish we documented all of this because I think it would have been a really cool little thing. And so anyways, Aunt Muriel would start when flights became more accessible and reasonably priced. Aunt Muriel would come over and actually physically visit us. And so we were up in, like, we were doing a trip from Vancouver up through the Rocky Mountains, so up into Banff and Jasper and everything. And we were in a store, and I said to Aunt Muriel, it was like 9 or 10 at the time, I think, maybe 11. I said, oh, well, like, what do you collect? And she said, well, I don't collect anything. I said, well, what do you mean you don't collect anything? You must collect something. There must be some kind of animal. Oh, thank you, Alana. Some kind of animal you like that you could collect. Like, how do you not collect something? It just was like mind-blowing to me. And she said, well, I suppose if I had to collect something, I could collect elephants. And so from that point on, we would buy her elephants every time she came to visit. We'd send her cards with elephants on them and all that kind of fun, silly stuff. And we lost her about 10 years ago, complications from breast cancer. But every now and then I see an elephant and it makes me think of her. And she was kind of like an aunt to us. She never had her own family or kids. And so we were her nieces and nephews or grandchildren or honorary kids, however you like it. And it was just really neat. I won an award back in 2009 from Build-A-Bear Workshop for all the volunteer work that I do in New Orleans. And we had only lost her a couple of years previous to that. And I was still in that mind frame. Oh, thank you. She was very wonderful. So part of the mindset was whenever something beautiful happened or wonderful or amazing or we accomplished a big goal, Aunt Muriel was always one of the first people. I'm going to flip the camera around now. Aunt Muriel was always one of the first people that we told these great things had happened to. And so I was feeling kind of a little bit sad because here I was all the way down in St. Louis with the owner from Build-A-Bear Workshop receiving this amazing award with all these amazing kids who do volunteer work. And the first instinct was, I can't wait to tell Aunt Muriel. And then I was kind of sad because I realized I didn't have that opportunity. And we got to the awards dinner, and they had, of course, this Build-A-Bear workshop. So they had Build-A-Bears at all of the tables, and they had place settings or place cards, whatever, with your names on them and where you would sit with your adult. That, yes, I was an adult, and I got to bring an adult with me to be my adult. And, right? Exactly. So I went to sit down at my table for the awards dinner, and wouldn't you know it, right in front of my place setting, there was a Build-A-Bear elephant. And so I remember tearing up a little, and the friend that was with me as my adult was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, there's an elephant here. It just means that it's okay because Aunt Muriel knows, she sees, and it's all good. She was totally there. She was there. It was like the coolest. I think, if you had to put down your top 20 moments of your life, I honestly think that was one of them. There I was in St. Louis receiving an award for the volunteer work that I did in New Orleans. And Aunt Muriel was there, and we were in this lovely room that was in the middle of the aquarium. So there was fish all around us, like floating, swimming, and just this beautiful room celebrating 12 kids who did amazing volunteer work with their own organizations. And then also a couple of us that were chosen as staff, as mentors and examples for doing volunteer work and getting involved in your communities and great causes. So that, I think, is always going to be one of those top 20 moments in my life. So guys, I'm so sad. We're at what I think is now going to be the end of our extended tour today. If you've been on my tours before, you know I typically run overtime. What can I say? I can't stop talking and telling stories, and I appreciate everybody who's here today listening in. So if you've had fun down here today at Granville Island and you have the means and would like to show a little appreciation, one of the ways you can do that is by leaving me a little tip. And if you don't have the means to do that, thank you, Ronnie. But you'd like to help out, then hey, you know what? You can leave me a little review. You can follow me. Like I said, I've hit over 200 followers now, so I'm so excited for that and super appreciative of anybody who joins me on my tours. Thank you, Alana. Thank you, Kim. Means the world to me. You know that. And so if you could leave a review and also check out my other tours, because I have lots of fun stuff, maybe not announced yet. Sometimes there's a couple of hints of a few things coming up, but I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. Thank you, Cheryl. In the fall, on one of the things I have coming up this week, because oh my gosh, it's Sunday already. I am flying to Calgary on Tuesday. I'm flying Tuesday night. And on Wednesday, my friend Amanda and I are taking a bus into Banff, Canada, to the Rocky Mountains. And I'm actually going to do one of my coffee shop and history walk tours in Banff on Wednesday. Thank you. So I'm super excited. One of my best friends was actually helping me find a cool little place to do the history or the coffee shop from. It might not be coffee. It might be a tea place. I might go a little crazy. So if you're around, it's probably going to be in the afternoon, like probably around 2 or 3. And thank you, Kim. Much appreciated. And so I'm super excited to do that. So that's Wednesday. Watch for I should be popping up in the next 24 hours, the date, the official date and time for the coffee shops and history walks in Banff. Then I'll be on the train for 2 days. And then I come back home and I go back to work. And then in October, I am headed to New York City. Oh, thank you, Marie. Oh, and thank you. Such sweet words. Super excited to go to New York City. I'm literally going for 2 days just because I'm a Breakfast at Tiffany's movie fanatic and a big fan of Tiffany and Company. And you know what? I'll leave the explanation for the tour blurb as well as a little bit more information when I pop it up getting ready for New York City. And you can also follow me on Girl on a Bus Adventures on Instagram. I also have a private group on Facebook you can join in. That's Girl on a Bus Adventures, with some cool stuff coming up with that as well. And again, we're down here on Granville Island. We didn't run into Wild J doing their tour, but here we are. We're getting ready to round out. So wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, if it's daytime, I hope you have a really awesome day today. Maybe you're starting your day. Maybe this got you kickstarted off into a good mood, hopefully. If you're closing out your day, then I hope you have a restful evening and a blessed sleep. Thank you, Alana. And if you're watching this at like 3 a.m, I've done that with some guides. When I see a tour that I really, really want to hop onto, I will do the 3 a.m. thing. I'm not going to lie. So there we go. I hope you just have an amazing and fabulous next 24 hours, whatever time of day it is. And remember to do a little self-care. Traveled Europe solo for 3 months back in '85. You are a brave soul, Maria. I like your spirit. I hope you're following me, and I'll see you on some more adventures. So with that, everybody, cheers from Granville Island. It's been fun. Thank you for all the kind words and inspiring me. And I really, really, truly hope that you do have an amazing day. I think, Alana, we all love her sense of adventure, and we can all learn a little something from Maria. Marie, I said, sorry. Anyways, I'm going to say goodbye. Again, thank you so much for being here today. Pleasure to hang out and show you guys around. And I will see you on the next tour. Bye.